What is going on, everybody? It's Mark from Mark Sports Betting, and I'm back today for another free pick video for Saturday, November 21st. All I do ask in return is that you subscribe to my channel. I do have a lot of great winners that you definitely don't want to miss out on. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a video out yesterday. I was tied up for most of the day, but honestly, the value wasn't really there. I didn't see too many great games that I kind of wanted to bet on. The only game that I did kind of handicap was Purdue versus Minnesota. But honestly, like I said, I didn't see much value in that game. But we are back at it today. Just to quickly recap our Thursday night football pick, we did have the Cardinals at +3 to beat Seattle, and unfortunately we did not take that one. Murray did end up getting sacked on the last possession that they had to get the touchdown to tie the game. It was a one-score game, but there was also different plays within the game that I feel like didn't go Arizona's way. So overall, that was a close one. I could see that game kind of going either way. But unfortunately, we did drop that game. And like I said, I will be keeping a tally of my record. So that's going to bring my record down to 1-2. But yeah, we're moving on today. We do have a great slate of college football games that I really see a lot of value in some of these games. So the matchup that we're going to be looking at in today's video is going to be Indiana versus Ohio State. Ohio State being the 20-point favorite at home. And the total is actually sitting at 66.5 for this matchup. So Ohio State is coming into this afternoon's matchup with a perfect 3-0 record. They were able to dominate Nebraska 52-17. They bet Penn State 38-25, and they defeated Rutgers 49-27. And their offense has honestly been a powerhouse this year. They are averaging around 46 points per game, with 302 of those yards coming from passing and 208 coming from rushing, for a total combined yards of over 500. I think it's around 511 per game. And they've been pretty good on the defensive side of things as well. They're only holding their opponents to 23 points per game. Indiana, on the other hand, is coming in today's matchup as well with a perfect record. They are 4-0 on the year. They have wins against Penn State in a close one. It was 36-35. They bet Rutgers 37-21. They also bet Michigan 38-21, and then they bet Michigan State 24-0. So themselves, they're actually 4-0 ATS, and they're 3-1 to the over. Indiana's offense has actually been pretty good as well. They're averaging around 33 points per game, with 267 coming from passing and 101 coming from rushing, and they're holding their opponents to 19 points per game themselves. So if we quickly look at the head-to-head matchup, Ohio State has been pretty dominant straight up. They are 10-0, but with that being said, Indiana has been a great cover team, with them being 7-3 ATS, being able to cover against Ohio State. And in terms of the over, it's actually hitting 6-4 in all 10 matchups. And they're averaging around 42. Ohio State's averaging around 42 points in those games. And then Indiana's averaging around 22. So those are some of the head-to-head trends in the previous 10 games. So some of the noteworthy trends for this matchup is that Indiana is 5-0 ATS in their past 5 games overall, and the over is 4-6 in those 6 games. Like I mentioned above, Indiana has been good at covering head-to-head against Ohio. They are 7-2 ATS when playing Ohio, and that total has gone over in 6 of the 7 last road games overall. And like I mentioned, they have covered as well 5-0 on the road against Ohio. The total has gone over in 6 of Ohio's last 9 games against Indiana. And Ohio is 0-5 ATS when playing at home against Indiana. So with all that being said, laying 20 points at home with Ohio, at first, it might seem like a safe bet, but like I said, if you dive into the stats a little bit, Indiana has been a pretty good cover team. So with that being said, I don't feel comfortable laying the points with Ohio. Even though I do see them dominating the game, I just don't know if they're going to be able to win by 20. So for my free pick for today's video, I really like the over 66.5. Both teams have shown that they're able to score, and Ohio has no problem putting up points, and I think Indiana will get their fair share to push this one over. So I could see the final score being about 45-27, something like that. I think that would be a good landing spot, and that would bring you into the 70s. So for my free pick for today's matchup, it's going to be the over 66.5 in the Indiana versus Ohio State game.